Hello everybody, Realm Builder Guy here, and welcome back to Imperator Rome on the channel and Sparta. So, thank you again for everybody that's been watching the series. Really, the reception has blown me away. I wasn't quite sure how Imperator Rome content would be received here on the channel, given that it was a much maligned game for really the first year and a half of its existence, and rightfully so, but it's now coming back, it's coming on strong, and it is an absolutely amazing game in my humble estimation. So, after episode 3, or during episode 3, I asked you guys to create some stories. Why would King Marius have done, well, what happened in episode 2, which now the historians in the year 2021 referred to as Marius' folly. Why did he do what he did? And some of you came up with some really cool stories, and I'm going to share some of them now because it's really fun. Michael Benavides, and I apologize if I mispronounce anybody's name. He wrote, King Marius probably argued that if he didn't take that one lone, politically isolated county fast enough, the Diadochi would have done so before he did, making them even more powerful than they had any right to be. After all, they tore Alexander's empire to pieces with their squabbling. That, or he was afraid of them joining a defensive league after seeing their neighbor get Carthaged. Then we had from William Colburn, who just recently subscribed. I appreciate that. Thank you. And thank you to all the new subscribers. The growth has been kind of insane here on the channel. He wrote, my theory, why did the ruler of Sparta do such a dumb war? Was because he had a dream of an invasion for the whole of Sparta. That will start laying the foundation of the new Spartan Empire and its return to the grand global stage. Within the dream or vision, he sees to complete the task, no matter the cost or foolishness of his decisions. May it be a vision of the gift of sight that the gods have given him, or a foolish reality of one man's dreams. Only time will tell. And then the third one, this one's really cool, from Bull Party. This is the final one I'll read to you. Also, the way it's written is just, I just thought it was fantastic. To the great and noble warrior king, I would like to think that the stability was low, not because of truce breaking, which many enemies of the state would like to say, to spread lies of us breaking truces and spread distrust in other Greek states of us. My king, it was because of the people that left the slaves and farms alone as we drafted them into the war, and when we left for campaign for half a year longer, after taking one city, you desired for another, so you did as you wish, and the levies that you drafted left the farms and slaves alone. That will take some time to come back to normal grounds before the way. I mean, Spartans are honorable people, and we would not truce break. Those are lies spread to ruin our great name, so don't believe in the enemies of the state's lies. Also, my king, might I suggest that we should be having a careful watch on Egypt. As they did try to get a foothold in our Greek homeland, they may try again to get a hold on our Greek homeland. Also suggest that you watch out for the once humble city-state of Rome, as they may have just come into a power such as us, though not by honorable means. They may soon become another enemy of Greece, as the Persia not long ago was a player in our land, so might the Romans in a generation or two. This was written by Travatar the Noble in around 458, 459. Historians still debate on the exact time and what family this noble was from. This letter made from 2 front and back dried clay tablets that somehow kept in good enough shape to be read, somehow kept safe after the sacking of Sparta capital, and it reads as a notable noble writing to his king, warning the lies of the state, what really happened. But many historians argue on whether or not Travatar was writing of what really happened in the time, or he just a logical propaganda spin of the proud warrior king that wanted to answer why people in his kingdom didn't trust him after saying he would take one city, but instead lied and took 2. So thank you to all of you for that. And kind of along those lines, I would like the, community involvement here, viewer involvement, and, You know, this is like I said, I'm playing a more role-play-esque. This is not min-max playthrough, obviously. So a little more roleplay. If we have characters in here, in the court. So where are we here? Characters. So you have all of these different characters. We obviously have Arius of the Aegeid dynasty, who's the ruler. That could be interesting, like the primary heir. Young 12-year-old Akratatos, as an example. There are so many opportunities and possibilities here. If we look at Arius, I mean, he has his spouse, Kleino, as I like to call her. And then, of course, Philippomenos, as well as the young 6-year-old Davidos. So if you have stories that you would like to integrate here, I encourage that. You know, in general, what's going on in the world here could make for just make it fun and interesting. So one thing that was noted is obviously we've got a few too many forts that we have going on here. Forts obviously represented down here. So if we're looking as to where a fort makes sense, we're going to destroy one of these forts because forts cost a ton of money. Now, here we have a desolate realm, so I'm not worried about that. Here we've got a port and a border region as well, so a place where a landing could happen. So in Hermione, we will destroy that fort. Now we also have a building slot available there to invest otherwise. I do maintain that we're going to keep our fort up here for right now, just because, you know, this is a border isolated region. Cutting down forts costs a ton of money. So if you can eliminate some of your forts, you will save a lot of money. Now, if we go to the economy tab, you can see fort maintenance has gone down a little bit. If we bump it up 1.2, it's all right. I mean, it's the difference in 28 is not that bad. This is our current. This is from last month. This is the current balance. We're going to leave fleet and army maintenance down for just a little bit. We're still working on our stability, so that is slowly but surely ticking upwards. And now we are going to look at the overall strategy of what I want to do. So, first things first, I still want to take these guys here in Pellene. Now, Pellene, of course, we have the ability to take them, and that I want to do. I want to gobble up as much territory that's outside of that defensive league as possible. For that, I still want to keep our alliance with Argos. Apparently, they're considering leaving this alliance. Now, after we take Pellene, I'm actually okay if Argos says, nah, we're not really that interested in working with you anymore, because I'm considering doing the same to them. And the reason why is when we take on Messenia, which obviously we will, Argos is, where are you here? They are part of, their last one, they are part of that defensive league. So if we go into war with Messenia, not only will we not have one of our allies on our side in the war, but they'll actually fight against us. So we're completely wasting that diplomatic slot. But right now, they still serve a purpose. So we'll have to look for a new ally. Then beyond that, I kind of looked around where else we could go. Now we have Amphissa. They are currently allied with Delphi. That is one potential area. Boeotia, they are allied with the Antigonids, so that is a total no-go. Then we have Alatea, who's in a defensive alliance locally. So that's a no-go. Then we also have Thebes, who are in that defensive alliance. Then here in Megara, they are part of the Antigonids, or they're a feudatory state of them. And then, of course, we have the Antigonids themselves. So what I would like to do is launch campaigns against both Amphissa and Delphi, and to take them. That is an object of desire, but I would not want to integrate them just yet into a Spartan state. So I would not bring them in as a conquered nation in that sense and just get rid of them. No, what I would want to turn them into are client states, not tributary states, but client states. And the importance of client versus tributary. Tributary states basically just give you money, whereas a client state gives you the money at a higher rate than a tributary state does. A tributary state, I think, is 15% of income, and a client state is 25% of income. But on top of that, they will join your wars, and you can future integrate them. So keeping them part of this, as we then, and I don't believe they take up a diplomatic slot. I might be incorrect there, but I'm not entirely sure. So the theory is, at least, and we will test this theory, we'll see how it goes. After we fight this war, if we can conquer Amphissa and Delphi, and not peace out one and then declare war on the other one, then we'll have an ally in a war, and then break or leave the alliance with Argos and find another ally, and then launch the Peloponnesian War campaign. Now, one that I'm eyeing is actually Macedon as a potential for an alliance. Now, it is not at this point. They are fighting an internal revolt against the Macedonian, or sorry, this is another topic, the Macedonian revolt. I want to kind of see where that goes before we make any of that strategic decision. Macedon. Okay, now I was calling it in the first episode Macedon. I had 2 people comment and complain, maybe 3. Don't call it Macedon, call it Macedon. And I explained why I called it Macedon, but I'm like, I take my viewers' feedback seriously, and so I went to Macedon and Macedonia. I probably had nearly more than a dozen, maybe even 2 dozen people comment since then saying, dude, go back to Macedon. Don't call it Macedon. The immersion of Macedon, you're in ancient Greece, call it by the ancient Greek name. So we will now revert back to Macedon and Macedonia and the Macedons. If that triggers you, if you're like, no, dude, I need Macedon more than Macedon, I apologize, but the people have spoken and we are in Greece. And we believe in the voice of the people. Now, beyond that, I also said I wanted to look at potential allies. Well, one of them is just down here in Knossos. Now, Knossos is slowly but surely gobbling up all of Crete. This could be a good ally in a general campaign here through the Greek islands. They're becoming more and more powerful. Military tech level 3, they've got 3 ships, so they're building. It could have also been a place to expand into, but it's a little too far removed from our general war goal. So they would be one potential ally. And then another one that I would kind of look at is maybe Rhodes, but they're so far away, they can't really help us. Epirus hates us, so that's not going to happen. They would have been a good one as well. Elis, of course, continues to be a trusted partner of ours, and we will continue to keep that alliance. Aetolia would have been an interesting one as well, but they are allied with Messenia. So I really don't want to do that. Now, the problem is obviously we declare a war on Messenia, then we will deal more with the Defensive League as well as these guys. So that's all something to kind of keep an eye on. And then everybody else around here is some type of a client state of somebody else, so they're just so small it won't really help us. Aetolia would have been a nice one. Acarnania would have been a nice one, but they are a client state of the Macedonian revolt. So we'll have to see how that all plays out with the Macedons before we make a decision there. But first thing is first, we will, of course, need to declare war here. And for that, I need to find my second Nauticon. We will turn that to no objective and move them over here into the bay. And then move on with our next war of conquest. That is at least the target and the goal, to take them here. All right, so let's pause that. Let's have another quick look and make sure they are not allied with anyone. They are not. I will call in Elis because they are right next to it. And we will declare the war. Excuse me. And continue there. Now we will go and raise all of our levies. Go here, flank size. So we've got our flanking cohorts. So our primary cohorts, we're going to put in our heavy infantry. We're going to put the archers in the secondary. And then we're going to put our light infantry on the flanks. We're going to reduce... Do we do flank size 5? I mean, we don't have enough. They'll try to spread it out. We've got a pretty small army. So at this point, going to a flank size of 2, I think will perfectly work. So we have our archer, our 1 archer cohort in the secondary line, our 2 heavy infantry cohorts in the primary line, and then our light infantry on the flanks. We've got multiple actions we can take here as well, but I think at this point we're just going to stick with the shock action because it gives us the bonuses to both our flanking units in the light infantry and our primary cohort in the heavy infantry. So that is the one to go for. I'm going to send these guys onto the ship, and then we will sail around and take our enemy target. Alright, we had to kind of gain military access to the neighbor, and now we can move in for the attack. We couldn't land directly in Pellene, so here these guys will hunt the fleets. And on we go into a battle that is unclear who will win, but here come our reinforcements from our allies, and that should give us the advantage. You can see we are desperately outflanking them here, and we will win this battle relatively easily. And now the siege of Pellene will commence. Alright, the sacking of Pellene. Marius the First has led his men to glorious victory during the siege of Pellene. The enemy flee in disgrace, and all that is left is to decide on how to treat the residents. So none shall hide. I mean, we're already cruel. Gain a lot of money. Killing citizens. 3 times first levy becomes loyal to Marius. 4 times... let's see here. Let the men roam freely, so we gain prestige. Marius gains 15 gold, and Sparta gains 15 gold. The second levy of Epidaurus Limera becomes loyal to Marius the First. And then 2 times Achaean citizen in Pellene is killed, and we gain popularity. We will let them roam freely. There we go. And now we will sue for peace and gain a Pellene Achaea to Sparta. Alright, so after protracted conquest, what do we do? Pass judgment on the important families. So, we first have Artemidotos, who has no loyalty. He has a lot of zeal. See, he's high in inflammation, so he has inflammation. He doesn't feel good. He's a poet. He's cold. He's tolerant. Okay, the next one we're looking at is Theodotos. He is relatively charismatic, some zeal. He also deals with inflammation. He's arbitrary, foolish, and guileless. So that's a no for him. And Iropos, he has the highest bit of loyalty, good zeal, good finesse. He's cruel, righteous, and an improviser. So Iropos, you will get to live. Artemidotos, the other one, have the rest crucified. Alright, so now we will go to our military. We will disband all of our levies. Fantastic. And you can see stability has grown ever further. And now let's go to our Nauticon. They will go back to destroying pirates along the coast. We have a pretty decent-sized navy here. And now we need to look into what we want to do as far as investments in the conquered territories. So we still have in Achaea dime. Here we just have the fort, so I'm not going to worry about that. Our pops here, some slave, a lot of freemen. Here, yeah, I'll keep the fort for now. Just because, well, there's not much else to do there right now. If we look over here, in Ep.4, we've got some room for investment. Hermione we also have, and yes, I will continue to call it Hermione because it's hilarious. So here, let's see, what could we invest in? We've got some money. I don't want to drop 100. What's cheaper? So we can go with a tax office. What do our pops look like? We've got a few freemen. We've got a few slaves. It's not huge. A mill, so our slave output goes up, slave happiness goes up, desired ratio goes up, and civilization goes up. And we've got a forum. I mean, all of these cost 100. Anything that's cheap, a training camp, so manpower goes up and the civilization level goes up. We've got a marketplace where the civilization level goes up, pop assimilation speed goes up, the base trade routes go up. We could go with a library, so civilization level goes up, pop conversion speed goes up, local research points go up, or the granary, and then the aqueduct costs money. What could we do here in Hermione? We could build a tribal settlement, a provincial legation, barracks, fortress, port, or a slave estate. As a basic one. I mean, all of these are super expensive. 103 for another port. We don't really need that. We already did the fortress. So the barracks gives us an increase in manpower, increase in civ, pop migration speed goes down, local freeman happiness, desired ratio go up. We basically only have freemen. Then we've got the slave estate. Migration speed goes down. We'd have to move slaves there. In Ep.4, how many slave pops do we have? We only have one. So here, really, the only thing that makes sense, we don't need tribesmen. Pop migration speed would help. Pop assimilation. I think barracks makes the most sense. Yes, it's going to cost us a lot of money, but we need to put something here, in my opinion. So we will go with a barracks. So that costs us a lot of money, but that's okay. We can deal with that. All right. All right, so it's looking pretty good overall. Looks like there's a little bit of an internal conflict going on here. Azania. Oh, they're dealing with their own revolt. And then they have their own internal alliances. It's interesting, they're part of a defensive league and an alliance. Very interesting. And now it's time to look and see what we do here. So Argos broke their alliance with us. So we have another alliance, another Diplo slot. Let's just hit pause here. Now it's time to look what we want to do. So Macedon is still dealing with what they're dealing with, and they continue to get smaller. The Antigonids continue to grow here. Thrace. They have a lot of subjects. They have Casus Belli. They have a truce across here. Thrace. Now Thrace is a little further away. Or we could go with Epirus as an ally, who's closer and would help us. They're at a war to the north. Let's see. Epirus has a Casus Belli on Rome. Of course, they are more likely to go to war with Rome. They are in a defensive league with... let's see. Rome. Rome's looking pretty good. So we could go with Epirus as a local power to help us. Let's see, where is Epirus as far as power goes? I mean, they would definitely be the more powerful ally, but not more powerful than Thrace. Thrace would be huge. They've got a pretty good fleet, even though ours is pretty good too. Their military tech isn't that great, but they have the pops. this could be... Thrace could be an interesting ally to have. The Antigonids will not ally with us. That's okay. What about the Seleucids? They are too far away. They are outside of our diplomatic range. So as far as local great powers, Rome doesn't like us. Syracuse, we could ally with Syracuse. But odds are they're going to butt heads with Rome, as is Epirus. But Epirus could help us probably quicker than Thrace. This is a big call now, as far as a local ally. Epirus would come in from the north and help us here. In a war here against this league, because they could shut out this northern ally, and then Elis could help us internally here as well. I feel like Thrace, though a good ally to have, because they're powerful, they're going to be dealing... Look, they've grown up here. The beautiful Bosporan Kingdom. I love that. Olbia has grown. Wow, Scythia is just this one province now. Very interesting. This is a big call. Now, okay, let's look at this historically now to help guide us. Historically, Epirus and Sparta were at war. In fact, Marius defeated Pyrrhus and Epirus. All right, we will let history guide us. We will offer an alliance to Thrace. There you go. When in doubt, when you're doing a historical playthrough and an RPG type playthrough, I feel like, and you just can't pick, like I couldn't pick, legitimately. I didn't know what direction to go with this one. And so, for me, I defaulted to the gods of history. And there we have it, folks. All right, now we need to go here and... Oh, Demostrate. We have a daughter. Very nice. Covert action. We're going to... we've got 35 political influence, but we're going to use it to fabricate a claim up north. Now let's go to our provinces. We're not going to auto-trade because we're in charge everywhere. Archaea, Arcadia. So is it possible to change? Can't, because governor for your capital region. All right. That's fine. It's all good, man. So here the province loyalty is down. We need to get that up. Province food we're fine on. Let's go back here and look at Arcadia. So our loyalty is still low. It's still declining. Our food is good, so we need to work on that. Plot whispers in the dark. Get rid of that here. The greatest threat to any nation comes not from without, but from within. The constant infighting between those who would name themselves heir can consume countless resources and lives. Our spies at the court are certain that Cleonimus Aegeid, a man who has made no secret of his ambitions for the throne, is plotting to ensure his future by doing away with the competition. You should keep a watchful eye on him. So let's see here. His popularity is okay. He's not very loyal. He's not corrupt. He's 53. He's got rivals at court. Nonsense. We should put more faith in our subjects, so this will increase his loyalty towards us. Pay to have him observed. We'll be put under surveillance. What are we? We're harsh and disciplined. Okay, let's just observe him a little bit. Keep an eye on the man. And then kind of take it from there. So, the alliance with Thrace, I think, is a good one, unless they call us into a major war against either the Antigonids or the Seleucids. But, again, I just felt like Epirus, though, would have been a fantastic ally to have, no doubt about it. From having history guide us, I believe that we made the right decision there. All right, just keeping an eye on how things are going here. Let's look at our allies here real quick. Elis. Plot stagnation. Circumstances change quickly in the Spartan court. It appears that plotting is no longer necessary. Very well. All right, they are still allied with us. They are part of a defensive league with Aetolia. Macedon and the Hyranian revolt. Is it Hyranian? Hyranian revolt. Interesting. Okay. But that doesn't really impact us much. What is Thrace even doing right now? So they are in a conquest war with Byzantium. I mean, all of these smaller nations up here, I mean, they're basically trying to gain control of the Bosporus, which makes perfect sense. Then they have all those client states, and we are, looks like, their only ally. Boeotia has now taken Delphi. Call to arms by Thrace. Alright, we will let's accept the offer. It may not hurt us to actually go to war there to increase our military experience. Which right now sits at 54. We need to get about 80 there. Looks like these guys are conquering. Boeotia is conquering more and more. So Delphi already won't be a target of ours. But the nice thing is Amphissa now is diplomatically isolated. So this could be our first client state that we really go for. Where's the progress there? 45, so we will get that next year in pretty much a year. Alright, so now let's go and find our fleet. May as well send our fleet out there and bring on some soldiers. We will raise our levies. Go to our military, go to our army. Hold on. Make sure, I hate that this always changes. So here are our light infantry, our flank size down to 2, because again, we're a pretty small army. We'll bring them on here. And then start moving our forces to the north and kind of be part of that Thracian campaign. Again, the experience we gain will be invaluable. All right, we have landed now in the Bosporus region. We will start our siege here, one of the enemy territories. Or we can't, actually. And let's move our troops. Let's see, where should we go? It's interesting, we gotta kind of go around onto the ship and then off again. I believe that is one of the counterparts in the war. Yes, it is. Alright, so these guys we will simply say to hunt enemy fleets. And we will now slowly but surely just start to expand. Oh, here comes enemy. That will fight us and defeat us. We got caught out here without allies. Where are the Thracians? Okay, so we're going to lose this battle. Because we will not get Thracian reinforcements. They came from that side. That's alright. It's a shame. Battle of Rebus. During the struggle, troops were killed. Alright, so now we're gone. We have left. That's fine. Battle of Propontis. Battle of Propontis. The forces of Bithynia and Chalcedon are fleeing. We lost 0 ships while they lost 8. Alright, so we will... Eptizenus is in command of the 2nd Nauticon. Alright, so where is our 2nd Nauticon? We're just hunting. Hunting the enemy. Let's look at... what do we have here? Frontal assault. That's not bad. I think we're good with that. We could do frontal assault, which gives us close ranks. Damage versus close ranks is minus 10%. Damage versus harassment is 13. Or harassment, damage versus frontal assault. We'll just keep it as is. Here, primary cohorts, Liburian, or the Trireme. Let's go with, what do we have more of? The Trireme. There, that's the word. We'll put the Trireme there. And then on the flanks, we will have the Librurian, because they are faster. So we'll just do that. And keep an eye on our second Nautican, as it kind of goes around looking for enemy ships. But that war is not going as planned. You can see here, they are starting to lose some territory. All right, so we have our Casus Belli on Amphissa. So we could go to war with them. If we declare a war, we can bring in all of our allies. How are we looking for our army is non-existent. So no levies can be raised at this time. There's not much we can do there. So we'll just keep that in our back pocket and keep fighting with this war right here. And it's simply down to our manpower. We don't have the manpower to raise our levies just yet. So we'll just continue fighting in the Thracian war here. I mean, we pretty much, I think we've destroyed the enemy fleet. Our stability has increased. Fantastic. So we're almost back. We're almost there, people. We're almost back to exactly 50, which is where the ideal scenario is for where you want to be. But I mean, our fleet destroyed the enemy fleet. Looks like Thrace has gained that back. There's not a lot going on here in this war. What we have here, the Macedon revolt against the Antigonids. So the Antigonids are going to become the power in northern Greece. It's a little, does not make me very happy at all. Not happy in the slightest. Our Nautican is back out, hunting enemy ships. Let's just keep an eye on them. Maybe we'll get another sea battle here, because we kind of missed the last one. So we'll just kind of keep an eye and a focus on this fleet here. So one thing I haven't really focused on here is actually our diplomatic stance. I mean, we're in a neutral stance, so our diplomatic relations go up. Kind of want to go, if we go with a mercantile stance, I wonder, yeah, see, we'd lose one of these slots. I'd like to go with a mercantile stance, but we need an extra slot here, I think, to really, oh, that wasn't even us. Where are we? Oh, that's not us. There we go. There we go. That's us. So neutral stance, but still, we would lose a diplomatic relation, and that's just not worth it. All right, we can raise levies again. 5 pops. I feel like we just need to wait a little bit longer for our levies to be there. So we'll just wait. Wait for our manpower to come back up. I feel like in this war we're doing okay. There's a Bithynian revolt going on here as well, but I feel like Thrace will conquer all of this pretty quickly, and our superior navy is just basically keeping these guys in their ports. If they come out, we'll absolutely crush them. I mean, they'll stand no chance. The Thracian navy is dominating the Black Sea coast, so the enemy in this war really has no navy to speak of. We have complete naval superiority in the region between us and Thrace. So that's a good one. All right, we can call an omen. Let's see here. Helen. Oh, impatience is a virtue. So Acrotatus even, has been becoming increasingly restless of late. He believes that his stature is deserving of a key role in government. The only thing I can do is wait a little longer. All right, so now let's take a look here. We can go with Helen, so that gives us our popularity gain. We can go with Hyacinthos. Let's see, we have holy sites in here. Apollon, so our national commerce income goes up, or our discipline goes up in war. I'm a big fan of boosting our income, so we will most definitely do that. And I think other than that, we are good to go. I'd love for Thrace to end that war. Let's kind of take a look here. They still have no foreign relations. So what I'm going to do actually is we're going to pull our second Nautican. I am going to go to no objective, and we're going to move them down here into the bay. In preparation for kind of our first, I'm not going to call it colonial war, but getting a foothold here in Greece. I'd like to get the client state because I'd like the money, as well as an additional ally in what will become our war here. Now, obviously, as long as Thrace is preoccupied in their war there, that will not help us. But this is the direction I think we should go in the next episode as our Nautican moves into position. Perfect. And I think this is a good place to now end today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Our stability is back. We are gaining stability. We are growing. We're becoming a regional power slowly but surely. We've added Thrace as an ally. You know, Argos kind of dropped us, but that's okay. And in the next one, we will go for Amphissa as a client state conquest, ideally with Ellis backing us, which they should. And then we have a foothold here in a client state that'll give us money and an additional ally. And then, my friends, we can maybe start thinking about Messenia, even though at this point I still feel like they would be too powerful. As long as Thrace is in that war, we don't have the money for mercenaries. Mercenaries would be a key one here. But slowly but surely, we are getting there, and it would be nice to add more client states. So if you enjoyed this episode, please hit that like button. If we can get, let's put it at 100 likes on this episode, that would be absolutely amazing. Don't forget to check out the links down in the description to our Discord, to Twitter, Twitch. I will be streaming. I'm working out my schedule in the future. And then, and by the way, the schedule here right now on YouTube, I alternate between two different ones. Mondays will be a guide most weeks, and then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we will have Crusader Kings 3. On Wednesdays and Fridays will be a new Imperator Rome, and then occasionally a weekend bonus upload. Then on those weeks where I'm not going to do a Monday guide, it'll be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday Imperator Rome, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday Crusader Kings 3. So I hope that's okay with you. Let me know down in the comments if you have any stories for any of the characters here in the series. And until next time, I'm Realm Builder Guy, and I will talk to you soon.